Hi, I'm Chester Osborn. We're at Darrenburg in McLaren Vale, and we're going to do the Vintage Tour 2017, getting toward the end of vintage. Don't normally do it with a camera crew and all this mic gear, but we might get run over in a minute. Just watch out behind you, Tash. There's a load of grapes coming, so just come this way so that you don't get hit. Keep coming. You're right. This is a load of Cabernet that was picked last night, actually about to be dumped into the hopper here. You can see the crusher on the other side here, which is a very, very soft crusher, a modified velo crusher with very, very soft fingers that even lizards get through the rollers of the crusher and come out alive. Hence why we have a wine called the Lucky Lizard. So we've just weighed this big load of grapes. It's going to take a little bit of time for him to get ready to empty it, so we might just wander over and see where they're going to go. This is Gary, actually. Gary Waite, who's the grower of these grapes. Beautiful Cabernet. Yeah, very good. How are you? Been selling us grapes for, probably about 60 years or something, wouldn't it be? Maybe your father even sold us grapes, I think, didn't he? Yeah, so I don't know how many years. maybe 100 nearly.
I think Dad knew, or Grandpa knew Grandpa going back before my time, sort of.
Yeah, I'm sure they did. Anyway, good. This is dry grown Cabernet, yielding at about 1.5 tonne an acre. Very small berries with lots of shot berries, little tiny berries that don't have much volume, which gives them lots of character. Very nearly extinct clone of Cabernet that usually goes into the Galvo, this one, but bits can go into the Coppermine Road. This is where they fill, so they're going to be crushing from there over to here, and these open fermenters will be then moved into any of these lean-tos. You can see the fermenters in there, and we'll come over this way and have a look at some of them being emptied. These two here are actually getting ready to be drained and emptied very shortly. So you can see there at the end of fermentation, you can see the juice only just bubbling as it's right near the end of fermentation. This is a little bit of Shiraz from a grower on the hill. That's not far away over here. A very old geology, about 500 million year old geology there. So we'll just come inside the winery here. So this is the old part of the winery here that was built in 1927. You can see the old drive up there in the background, which has worked all the power. It was stationary engines up until the 1950s when we got the power on them. That made things a little bit easier. Crusher used to be down here. You can see the basket presses here. This very first one, which they're just getting ready to put a cage on, is built 200 years ago, old French cock press. This one here. And this one behind it is about 100-year-old Australian Bromley Tregonning basket press. Everything at Darrenburg is basket pressed. We have 10 basket presses, so we copied actually this one, made another 8 others, and even the whites actually all go through these presses, so it's quite old-fashioned really. So we're just going to move this cage, I think. Has he finished that one? Cool. So this fermenter here, open fermenter 1, these fermenters actually all along here were built in 1927, are still all used, and many of them are full. So they're just moving this cage. We'll see their skills. Both of these guys have actually been working here for quite a lot of years, and they should be pretty good at lining it up, but they probably get stage fright and not line it up and have to do 3 or 4 goes. Yeah. So what this little screen here is to stop the juice, the skins and seeds from blocking up the little holes. You can see down here that all the juice has to come through here. So it just stops the holes from blocking up. Here, if you have a look up here, it's putting on the head now. So this is again to stop the juice from and the skins from squirting up when they put it on the press. So here we are, Alan Varney's big moment of, and he got it wrong. Yeah, so maybe it wasn't quite lined up, so he's got to line up the base. So this will get pressed on here once, and there'll be another cage come from that fermenter, and then they'll take it outside and we'll dump it and we'll press it again. So you can see now he's just about to crank up he's got to put the hose on the bottom, So anyway, we might go up. Do you want to throw on this other press here, and we'll go up and see the fermenter being emptied. So let's actually. Oh no, he's emptied the grapes. That's all right. We'll go out there in a little while. Let's go up here. So you can see some fermenters on my left that are bubbling away. This is some Grenache that just came in a few days ago. Is only just starting to ferment, and the other one here has been going for a few more days. Grenache again. You can see the big woods over here. We have about 20 big woods. We'll go and see some of those in a little minute. But we'll just come up here and have a look at the fermenters over this side. So this is Joey here, who's throwing out the fermenter. He loves our open fermenters. I think he did 8 or 9 the other day on his own, throwing out a couple of ton, or I suppose it's more than a couple of ton, 2.5 ton of skins every one of them. So it's quite a healthy amount. You do a good 8 of those, and you've done 10 ton of grapes. You can see the cooling coils that go in there. All of these are submerged cap ferments, and we do everything submerged cap ferment like this, and that's a very gentle technique. The crusher is very gentle. These grapes are being fermented in a very gentle technique with no plunging, no pumping over, and they just get one foot treading, which we might go and see. Actually, I think there's a bit of foot treading going on elsewhere. So this is actually some carbonic macerated grapes that were held in clusters for a while first. In the bin for about a week to get a real bubblegum character. And if you could smell right now, this whole area right now smells of strawberry and blackberry bubblegum, because it's really quite aromatic. It's a really lovely character. Right, so let's go. This is the original pump of the winery. It still works actually, but it's an old piston pump, but it's not hooked up today. And these are all tanks that we're walking on here, which are all underground tanks built in 1927 and are still used today. They're not waxed anymore. They're actually lined with a liner that's more sterile and easier to work. So more fermenters you can see over on our right there. And this little area down here, we do, if anyone books in for a vintage tour, which we're still doing vintage tours every day, and it ends with a tasting in this little area here with the old big woods around, you can see. But we'll come out this way. They're just actually weighing off the truck to tear it to work out what the tons of grapes were that came in from that vineyard. But we'll zip past here, and I think there's a bit of foot treading. More Cabernet actually is being foot trod over here. So we've got Nikolai here. Now this is a bit of a struggle for him probably, because he doesn't weigh anything. and his helper here, Alex, who's from Portland, Oregon. And Alex is actually from around here in South Australia. And you can see he's just crawling over it systematically, hopefully, and squashing the berries and skins down into the juice to just cool the skins down. So we've cooled this fermenter down. It had a peak of 30 degrees Celsius through the ferment at halfway. Then we cool it down quite quickly, and then we drain off half the juice, and we do this foot treading. And you can see the headboards here that are used to hold the skins down with those irons that are there. So every fermenter gets done just once this way. But he is a bit light, I can see. A lot better if we have someone twice his weight doing this. But he'll get there. Cabernet's the hardest ones because the berries are smaller and there's a lot more skin service. So he's getting there. He's going to win. It's a pretty big workout. These guys often do 10 or 15 of these a day, so they end up pretty worn out. Maybe we'll go back and see now the crusher actually working, because that load of grapes has been dumped, of course. We're about 3/4 of the way through the vintage. It's absolutely fantastic. It's been dry for 6 or 7 weeks, which is perfect, drier than normal. And we've had some nice warm weather in autumn, so that's really been very good to concentrate the really cold climate we had before, because everything's really delayed because of all the very cold spring we had and fairly wet spring and beginning of summer. So it's really, they're very aromatic wines with amazing elegance and fragrant length, but now with a bit of concentration because of the end of vintage. We'll just have a look over here there you are. You can see the Cabernet that's been picked. Lovely little Cabernet berries, round black berries with a few stalks to get through. And there's a few bits of wood because they're very old vines. These about 50 to 70. I'm not sure exactly. And you can see over here as it's going, they're falling down into the auger, which is down the bottom we saw earlier on, and coming along into the crusher over here, and you can see there, and you can see the berries falling down, and the stalks coming out the end, going into the bin at the very end, with the pump underneath is pumping the berries along. We open the rollers up so it's all whole berries as much as we can get. Obviously some of them get squashed here and there, but that's all right. But what I have found with this really young, really gentle crusher is that we can leave the juice in contact with the skins for an extra 10 or 15% longer, and still get the same amount of tannins as we used to get with the old crusher, the old Damazi crusher. So we end up with a really better skin contact character rather than a bruised skin and seed. So last thing to do is just see where these grapes are being pumped, which is quite close, and that's very helpful, having a big must line that has the grapes coming very close, because you don't have to squash all the berries quite so much. So it's going to be fairly juicy at the beginning because it was a reasonable sized truck. So you can see it coming out here, the juice coming out. There's not a lot of colour in Cabernet juice usually. At this stage it gets the colour by sitting on the skins for a few weeks. So I hope you enjoyed our little tour, vintage tour 2017, and I hope you're enjoying a glass of red Darrenberg tonight. I certainly will be, and thank you for watching. Cheers.